Have you ever reached the point in your life where, on paper, everything looks right, but something inside you is asking for more? More meaning, more alignment, more truth, and sometimes it shows up as restlessness.
Whatever you have to do, do it now. Because I think it's Doris Lessing that said the conditions are always impossible.
Sometimes as a quiet feeling that you are not fully expressing who you really are. And sometimes it comes after life changes everything. Because the truth is, transformation doesn't always start with a plan. It often begins with a question. Is this really who I am and the life I am meant to live? Today's conversation is about that journey. The journey of rediscovering yourself, reclaiming your voice, and stepping into your true identity. And my guest today knows this journey deeply, not just professionally, but personally. Engela is a personal branding and business strategist with an international background, originally from South Africa with French roots, and a career that has taken her across countries and industries, and life chapters that have required courage, resilience, and reinvention.
You can always start again. You can start right where you are, but you need to start now. Don't wait.
She works with entrepreneurs and professionals in transition, helping them uncover what truly lights them up and recognize their strengths and bring their greatest work into the world with clarity and confidence.
For me, it is about people having the opportunity to have an equal voice, to come in, share, and I believe you keep yourself young by learning from people younger than you also.
But what makes her work so powerful is this. She doesn't just help people build a brand. She helps them reconnect with who they truly are. Because when that alignment happens, everything changes. There is clarity, there is confidence, there is a direction, and there is the courage to move forward, often faster and with far more intention. Engela also plays a powerful role with Global Women Community, having led the first Global Women City Club in London and now building a thriving community of women in Paris, creating spaces where women feel connected, supported, and empowered to grow.
Global Women gives me is the opportunity to bring all my different life experience and experience in all these different sectors to serve the club and the members of the club.
Because ultimately her mission is simple: to help people feel fully aligned with who they are, confident in how they show up, and clear on how to create both impact and income. Engela, welcome to Think Big and Go Global
Thank
podcast.
you, Mirela.
So great to have you back in London.
It's so good to be here today.
And
back here after working in London for 17 years and now living in France, my ancestral country, for 5 years.
How does it feel, all these life changes in just a few years?
I've always seen myself as a citizen of the world, a real global woman, so to speak, and multi-passionate at that. I was fortunate that I was granted in life a talent to use my voice, and also a talent for mathematics and sciences and finances. So I have combined all of these to have a different career every 10 years. My 20s I spent working with my own radio show from age 20, 25 television news presenter, then did a master's degree in business, my 30s as a university lecturer, 3 different universities. My 40s in London, building a completely new life, a new career for myself and my daughter. And then in my 50s, when my daughter went to study architecture in Lyon, I launched my own international business from the hotel whilst we were interning her for the university there. And then now finding myself to the later 50s and where I am now in France. So yes, come full circle from South Africa.
I can see. And when you see the whole journey that it took you to be where you are today, what is one pivotal moment that really shifted on your life?
They were really 2 for me. You know, they say life must be lived forward but can only be understood backwards. And so many times I asked myself that question, why Europe? Why the journey that my daughter and I walked to come to London? two determining things for me. The one was from my grandmother, the Toit, Shada. She was a Latin and English teacher, and their farm was next to ours. I grew up on a wine and flower farm on a less than one horse town, a tiny little village near Vredendal in South Africa. And in the afternoons, my grandmother had a set of encyclopedia, which you're too young to remember what that is. But I would go through the encyclopedia because my grandmother recognized in me early on a talent to speak. And from a young age, I was asked to read in class and to speak. I remember, I think I was about 7, 8 years old, I did an oral at school on inflation. What is that spider, inflation? And I didn't even really understand it. But so I then moved away. I went to school a year earlier than what children normally go to school. And I decided to go away to Cape Town, which is 3.5 hours drive from the farm, because I had a vision then to work on radio or to do acting. And I knew that growing up Afrikaans, which is a language in South Africa, which evolved from Afrikaans, French, Portuguese, different languages, from Dutch, Portuguese, French. I knew that I would have to become fluent in English to live a bigger life. And I wanted to do Shakespeare, Chaucer, so I went to school in Cape Town from age 11. Stellenbosch, near Cape Town.
That's incredible. And from that point, then you took a journey towards your career. Later on, you became a presenter. You achieved your dream. You also managed to interview Mandela. So how did you see that change?
I remember on the farm walking through the kitchen and listening to the music, and I would put it on the music station, and my mum would come through and she would put it on a different station, and I would change it. And I used to say, but I want to work on radio. And literally from age 20, I was working on radio at Radio Good Hope in Cape Town with my own show alongside the people I used to listen to. And then at 22, I went to Johannesburg and I passed an audition, but I was only interested in presenting television news. And at 22, you don't really have the authority to bring that. Even if you've got the voice, you don't have the authority.
Yeah, that's true.
So I went back to, I was working in Cape Town, and then at 25, I did become the youngest ever television news presenter in South Africa. And I presented the news on the day Nelson Mandela was released. And then I was 27 when I interviewed him. And at that stage, he'd been in prison all of my life. 27 years he'd been in prison.
Wow.
And I thought that there must be bitterness. I cannot imagine what someone must go through to go through an experience like that. But what stayed with me is one thing he said to me that day, which became sort of my life philosophy since then, is, Engela, we have no time for revenge. Only enough time to do good work.
Yeah.
And I think we find ourselves today in the world where there are many people who feel like they want to take revenge on other people, and really life is short. You asked me about another defining moment. So the one was my grandmother's encouragement, and another one was about 5 years ago. My husband, Mark, was 11 years younger than me. We were married for 17 years. And he was a vegetarian, didn't smoke, didn't drink, second dan in karate. And we spoke at 10 o'clock at night still. He was in London packed to come to visit in France, and he had a stroke overnight.
Wow.
And I came back to London and sat at Middlesex Hospital at his bedside with brain surgeons. They looked, he could never recover from the coma. And I saw that really healthy, young, kind man, his life seeping away, and from the one moment being alive and the next gone. And it really impressed upon me, the time is now. I remember a little while ago you and I spoke online, and I said the other thing that I believe is whatever you have to do, do it now.
Yeah.
Because I think it's Doris Lessing that said the conditions are always impossible.
Yeah, yeah.
She wrote The Golden Thread.
Yeah.
And
the Nobel Prize.
Yes, yes. The conditions are always impossible. And when we look around ourselves now, I think the conditions really do look impossible. In many ways, probably, they look impossible to some people. to be building the type of organization that you are building, and that your fiancé is building alongside you with Global Man, which I also really want to commend you for. Because I think there's a real paucity and a real need for something like what you've created for women, for men to have a place, to get reconnected to themselves and to other men.
That's a very powerful message, and it's so true, and we don't talk that much about it.
Yes.
And now that you are back in France and you're taking the role as Regional Director for Global Women Club Paris, how does it feel, that reconnection? Is that meant to be as part of your journey, and how do you see it?
I feel that it's meant to be. My daughter speaks French, English, Italian, different languages. Because I wanted to go back to my roots, I put her in the French school in Cape Town when she was 4 years old, in the Moyen section. And after that she was in London, and I feel like the first time I saw Provence, I felt like I'd come back home to our family farm. I will say this to you, the opportunity I saw at Global Women, when I first met you, I think we met at the Meridian Hotel in London in 2017 at an international conference. And someone from the organization asked me, was I interested in doing a cover, interested in becoming a member? And at that stage, I said, no, I will just come to an event and see. You invited me to an event at Savini. And I had built, I will say this just for clarity, for people listening. Every 10 years of my life I've had a different career. As I said, radio, television, then in my 30s as a lecturer, and also doing image consulting, styling for people, men and women. And then building a completely new career. I really started my life over at 41 in London. And then when Angelique started university, I launched the business and I took my business international. But what I didn't have was a network of business women in London. And that's the reason I joined in London. And so very quickly my experience was, and still is, that many of those women felt like family, really. I'm still connected to old directors, I'm still connected to old members. And I find people in France saying the same to me. There's a lot of expats, but French women saying...
Yeah, because sometimes, even though you look busy, you are lonely.
Yes.
And it's not about how much you do in life, it's how you connect with people that really add value to you.
Yes, and I think there's a different way that discussion gets carried sometimes in France than what we do in South Africa, the UK, America. People are private. People don't really mix themselves with what's happening in the house next door or the business. So when people are in a social setting, they don't ask necessarily, what do you do, what do you earn, what work do you do.
It's a complete different conversation.
Yes, so it's more difficult. You know, here in the UK, people will meet you and they will say, so what do you do? And if you're not careful, they will say, so how much do you earn? But that's just part of being open and laughing at ourselves in the UK. So I think in France you've got the liberty, equality, fraternity, but the fraternity is for the brothers, you know, for me.
You have to belong to that circle, otherwise you feel an outsider.
Yes, but I think there isn't always that old girls club for the women where you can connect with someone else in business. Now, what Global Women gives me is the opportunity to bring all my different life experience and experience in all these different sectors to bear, to serve the club and the members of the club. And to give people an opportunity to have a voice, come and share about their business, get connected, because when you join Global Women Club Paris, you are not just a member of Paris Club, you are a member of all the other clubs that you've created. How many countries are we now?
Well, that's a good question. We have been launching over 40 clubs around the world, and we have almost 20 directors, so we are doing activities every single day.
Because some of it is online, and you've just launched the lobby, you've launched the app.
Yeah, the lounge. But that's why I'm very excited that we are relaunching Paris again, because it's such a metropolitan city and there is a big demand. And now you have lived yourself, you experienced yourself, you know how it works, you know the desire and the crave that many women have in business to connect. So it's going to be amazing. But also,
we're at a beautiful place also in Saint-Germain-des-Prés. It's so historic for you as you're a writer also.
Yeah, absolutely,
You know,
absolutely. And now both your worlds as a coach, as a consultant, helping women and men on revealing and rediscovering the new purpose of their life, but in the same time leading a community of female entrepreneurs. How do these support each other?
You know, for me, I live in a city now. Half the week I'm in Paris, close to Bon Marché, and half the week in Saint-Remy-de-Provence, which is one of the most beautiful. It's like the Monaco of Provence, next to Avignon. And on the weekends in Marseille, quite often on the weekend in Marseille. My husband Jean-Marie is a Champion de France rower, so you can't take the salt water away from that man.
And now you...
So I'm in the fashion capital of the world, or London also, you can argue, with Jonathan Anderson, you know, with all the influence we've got. I can really combine my passion for style in this beautiful historic city. But I foresee already that we will have members from other cities, from other places in France, that people will visit us from other countries in Europe, people will visit us from America. I think the purpose of the club is to bring business and corporate women together. Yeah. I've already spoken with women who've said they plan to take the morning off. It's once a month, or even if they can do only every second month, because they can still be as connected online. And then to have a place where you can really feel safe. Yeah. You can feel safe to learn from other people. This is maybe the last thing I want to say about my work life is, though I've got a master's degree in business, though I've had a job that it's just a job when you're a television news presenter that you do in public. Yeah. I'm a very non-hierarchical person, and for me it is about people having the opportunity to have an equal voice, to come in, share, and I believe you keep yourself young by learning from people younger than you also. Yeah, that's so true. By learning from everyone in the organization. It depends on the time of the organization who is really the boss. Because you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. No, absolutely. If you are the smartest person in the room, then maybe you should get into some other rooms where you can learn, pick up some books, some podcasts like this one. Thank you also for all the podcasts, because I walk a lot. That's the exercise I do. I try to do 20,000 steps a day, 5,000 kilometers a year. Wow, that's amazing. And I've kept it up for many years now. And my companion on my walks are podcasts. Oh, and so I Think Big and Go Global has taken me on a journey around the world whilst walking the streets of Paris. Oh, that's so nice to hear, and thank you. So Engela, now you have started a new life with a new husband, new journey. It feels so great and very, very amazing and inspirational story for many women to hear, because many women would feel like, oh, that's my destiny, I'm where I am, and you still had the courage and the power and the energy to give yourself the permission to live your life fully. And this is what you're doing now, and it can be a great, amazing, inspirational story for many other women to follow their journey. I will share just very quickly two things that I think could be an inspiration to people. You can always start again. You can start right where you are, but you need to start now. Yeah. Don't wait. Don't wait. Yeah, don't delay. Yeah. It's like postponing your destiny, postponing your happiness, postponing something that you're meant to live every single day. Yes. Success is built one step upon another. Now with AI and all the other tools, we can build faster. And it's all about the mindset. It's all about your attitude. If you believe that you deserve it, if you believe that it's the beginning of something new, because at the end of something is the beginning of a new chapter. I've heard so many stories on this podcast also of people like who went through the similar experience as me, for instance, and yourself. Me coming from South Africa, and at 41 starting life over completely. I started life over as a Christmas customer assistant on a 16-hour contract at Marks and Spencer's, putting out clothes at night whilst my daughter was doing her homework. You know, that 6 till 10 hour. With a master's degree in business, I never said, I can't do this, I have an MBA.
Yeah.
I did, if the manager said do this, I said how many and how fast.
Yeah.
And I did that, and that was the attitude. And within, I think it was just over 2 years, I had, through hard work and also through doing the graduate scheme retail program, become the retail manager for the flagship store. That's for amazing. Next on the corner of Oxford Street and Bond Street.
It's like how you do one thing, you do everything.
How you do one thing is how you do everything. I think three things very important. Courage, having an open mind, and self-belief. But not a false, empty self-belief. Know what you're good at, and also know what you are not good at. And again, Global Woman provides a solution here, because know what you are good at and what you are not good at. Find someone else who is good at that, who can accelerate your learning process. I'm doing that right now because tech is not my strong point. So I'm accessing people around me and saying, can you show me how to do this, how to download this, how to populate, you know. I have to learn at my age. And I think with AI adoption, which people are adopting for business, they still can't completely replace us.
Well, I think that we still have a few elements that AI would never be able to replace us. But and especially the story itself, the emotions, the feelings, the connections, because we are human beings that we need and crave that real connection. And it will never go away.
Yes, I so often, especially in France, people say, your name is Engela, comme Angela Merkel. Like Angela Merkel, I say yes, yes, because I admire from afar her courage and tenacity. And then the other woman is Christine Lagarde, who carries herself with such dignity, such style. She's such an inspiration.
It's good to have these
Yes,
inspirational
and so we need more women starting their own businesses, or if you are in corporate, you are very welcome. That's why I started the evening club with you in City London, in the financial district in 2018. Because if you are in corporate, you don't want to be by yourself in corporate either.
In any journey, we don't want to be alone.
Absolutely, yes. And I think come to the club, find out, see what this organization, which I believe is probably, if not the biggest, one of the biggest clubs for women in the world now, and if not yet, it will be.
Absolutely.
So
we are doing this together.
I want to say, come and see, and you know, it's like a gym membership. If you sign up and you don't use it, you're not going to see the result.
That's the message. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, Engela, it has been absolute pleasure to get you back again, to be part of this movement and do this together, because collaboration is key right now.
Absolutely.
And as we always say, we're not about competition, we're not about dramas and traumas, whatever happened in the past that women have been going through. It's a new chapter, it's a new era, and we are showing the world that everything is possible.
Yes, there's strength in diversity, and also for South Africa, the motto is there's strength in unity.
Yes.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
What a powerful statement to end this conversation. For now, of course, we'll have more and more to explore together and do together, because it's the beginning of a new journey. I'm very grateful for your time and you traveling from Paris to come and share this new mission that you have taken to support other women wherever they are in their journey. So thank you so much,
Mirela. And now it's just to do the work, to re-establish the club and give space for people. So we are on the 16th of February at Les Editeurs, 16th of April at Les Editeurs, 8 years after when I started the club.
So the meetings will be once a month at Les Editeurs?
The plan is to have it at Les Editeurs, if we can keep our discipline and respect each other's businesses properly, time-wise, as I know my members will do.
Absolutely.
Yes, and because there's also power in discipline.
Yeah.
Yes, you cannot
That's
build
another
anything without
message.
discipline.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Engela. Again, great to have you, and we'll definitely come back to
Thank
Paris.
you, Mirela. Thank you for everything you do and for having me as part of the club.
Thank you.
Still.